Welcome back to Control, episode... We've already fought through all of the enemies headed towards the end of this level, but we fell off on the last jump because I misjudged the distance. So now we're going to trek back across the level and see how long that takes us. This level really wears on the eyes. I think that's probably on purpose. But I've commented before that I don't really like these space cubes in space, and I don't really like just red on red on red. Both of these things exist just to exist. They don't really feel like they have any meaning. But they're easy to put together, which is why so many indie games do this exact same thing. The good news is that they don't seem to resurrect enemies, so if you're stupid enough to fall off on the final jump, rather than having to fight Fuck, I misspoke. I'm sorry. What I meant to say is that you have to fight your way through the enemies all over again because you fell off on the final jump. And look, there, you just died again. So, if you have heard anybody complain about this game and the part of the game they didn't like, chances are this is the part of the game they were specifically talking about, because it is rough. But don't forget, you can always turn on immortality. Oh, come on. Seriously? Even when you're cheating, it's still tedious. At least those guys are easier. Oh, if I've got one-hit kills turned on, I should switch weapons over to the fast-firing weapon. So this is me with complete invincibility and one-hit kills turned on. It still takes this long. And it's not even fun to look at. So, last time, I fell short by about, I don't know, 2 millimeters? I think we're on the right spot. I think we're not going to fall short this time. Her fucking Ray. Once again, let's make absolutely sure that we're in the right spot. We wouldn't want to have to fight every single enemy all over again. Now there's a staircase there, so presumably we are allowed to go down there. But let's not risk it. So, we know from long experience that every time we do this, people die. They just die every time we do this. So obviously what we're going to do here is kill our brother. Oh no, magically he's fine. Nobody else has ever been fine, but he's fine for no
Dylan's in a coma.
reason that's ever been explained.
I don't know if there's anything of him left in there. If he'll ever find his way back. The portal's been closed, but the hiss is still in the oldest house. And the lockdown can't be lifted as long as any trace of it remains. I'm working on a solution with my management team, but there is still a long road ahead. I'm the director of the Federal Bureau of Control. We're in this together. You and I.
Sure. And here's the real ending. Of course, there is a lot of post-credit stuff you can do. I don't know why we would do that, but let's go ahead and have a little conversation. I'll put down my controller, because I'm sure nothing's going to happen. So, I've ragged on Control story a fair amount, and that's because I'm very, very picky when it comes to stories. But the stuff, like Damian Stepniewski there, who did the lighting, that's really fantastic. The stuff in this game is fantastic. The levels are fantastic. The props are fantastic. The effects are fantastic. The post effects are fantastic. The writing is not bad. It's just very fragmented. It doesn't really come together to give some sort of emotional truth. At the end of the game, they really ramp up the emotional truthiness of the game. They introduce some psychedelic stuff, which is a great way to sort of show that a character is reforming themselves, breaking apart, coming back together, changing, realizing what's going on in their heart. But when the character doesn't exist until that point, it doesn't work. And I've actually talked about that before. A lot of my videos where I'm talking about psychedelic sci-fi games, they start with the psychedelia, and I'm always like, we don't really know enough about the world to even understand that this is psychedelia. And it's the same problem here. Even though it happens at the end of the game, we don't really have any feel for Jessie as a character, because all she says is it time? Should I tell them? I wish I was a janitor. And then there's only one big scene where she's like, oh, I can't stand it. Where did everybody go? If there was a little bit more emotional density to the characters of the game throughout the game, I think I would have bought it a lot more willingly. And there were a lot of ways you could have done that. I really wish that the random OOPs would be a little bit more tightly bound to Jessie's personal nature. We would find things like discs, floppy disks, that would allow us to throw stuff and stuff like that. If those had been more wrapped up in Jessie's personal problems or personal concerns, then they could have revealed those personal problems or concerns or emotions or whatever to us. For example, the Ocean View Hotel. If the Ocean View Hotel represented Jessie, then that would have been a very interesting use of the Ocean View Hotel, because it's not that the Ocean View Hotel randomly connects things. It's that Jessie is always searching for her brother. And the Ocean View Hotel would be an easy way to represent that search. Oh, did she go from, Minnesota to Boston to New York in search of her brother? Well, all of the people at the bureau are like, oh no, she's coming this way. What's going on? Well, the Ocean View Hotel could very easily have been a representation of that. It looks like all of the hotels she's ever been to, all the motels she's ever been to, the reason she goes to motels is because she's searching for her brother. If that motel could have really, really bit hard into that emotional core, then we could have gotten a lot of insight into her desperate search for her brother, rather than her just continually saying, I want to find my brother. Hey, do you know where my brother is? Sure, I'll go collect stones for you instead of making you tell me about my brother. No big rush. Similarly, the chanting of the hiss, I didn't feel like it connected as strongly to any sort of emotional beat as it could have. These are things where I complain about the story because I keep seeing these potentials, and I keep like being like, I don't know, I would have preferred it to be this way or that way. And obviously I can say whatever I want because I don't have to actually write anything, don't actually have to produce anything. So hey, sky's the limit. This should have been filmed in space, whatever. But the reason I played this game and brought it to your attention is not the story. The story is unique, but it was the levels and the post effects and every piece of that, even the sounds. It all came together really, really well. And it was worth looking at. I'm creating a set of Unreal levels that just show some basics on how you can achieve the same kind of lighting ideas in Unreal. Obviously, Unreal can't do lighting quite as well because they actually chose to create their own engine, apparently. Specifically because Unreal couldn't do bounce lighting as well. But who knows? You can get some of the way there, and maybe with Unreal 5 next year, they say they're going to improve the lighting. We will see. It would be nice. I don't think you can do it very well in Unity, but you're welcome to try there. That's going to be a fun little discussion because, we spend so much time talking about the plot of the game, but really, it's the lighting. So, I hope you have enjoyed this 50-episode long excursion into how one particular game is lit, with a lot of side commentary on how much I am annoyed by their shortcomings of their plot. Can I skip this now? Let's just speed it up. Here we are, back in the game. And this is just the end, the post system. What happens after the ending that you can do
Shawshank Redemption.
Go do all of the side
That's
quests
the
now.
name of the movie I was thinking of earlier. Not
Fun.
important, but that was it.
Fun little beat there where they come back and tell you something from the very beginning of the game. And this is where we were. This is where our little nightmare happened. See? This is how it looks when we've got the blue and the green. The plants are still glitching out, though. Have a good one.